Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome to our post-match press conference as we Canada versus Guatemala. We're joined by the MLS Canada head coach and men's national team, Jesse Marsh. We'll start with questions in the room. Matthew.
Matthew Schneider, TSN Development Camp. Jesse, how did you kind of break the whole week, and especially that second half after you had a chance to talk to the guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe that was the talk on the broadcast, but I thought the first half was very good too. So I thought, in general, what I wanted was a performance that looked like our team, that looked like our identity. And that was the challenge I put forward for the players, and I think that all of them delivered in a really good way. I think that the discipline and concentration to play the kind of football that we wanted, to be aggressive, to understand roles, to make sure that we were up for the challenge in terms of Guatemala's combativeness. Like that looked like the Canadian national team, regardless of who was on the pitch. So that part makes you proud as a coach. When you have a group that comes together, a lot of them have never heard me talk. A lot of them have never played with each other and known each other, and we still look like a real team. So that was great.
Joe?
Jesse, just for Jason himself, by that point, it seemed like he kind of put in a performance that probably merited a goal, but didn't take it very well. What were your kind of thoughts on him and what he brought?
Yeah, look, what I talked to Jason about beforehand is that, he could play a role a little bit like what Johnny David does for us in terms of being in good positions for build-up, but then being dangerous in the box and finding ways to join in late in the box and still be a goal threat. And he did exactly that. I thought Jason was very good on the day. I thought that he came into this camp in general knowing more clearly the kind of intensity that I want to see and his ability to deliver it. He hasn't played 90 minutes in a long time, and I thought he delivered a really good 90-minute, well-rounded performance. So I think Jason is probably one of the guys that you put at the top of the list in terms of really improved his stock overall in terms of what he can bring to the national team.
Just one more. I know we're just still here tonight, but the March window is next up.
Yeah.
And a final window before a World Cup is always big. But for your team and the makeup of the players and the guys who are coming back, how big are those two tests in March? Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been really important since I've taken the job. Right, there's been urgency in everything we've done. The good thing is, even you see today, there's an ingrained identity now to what we do. We'll probably bring more than 23 players. It'll be good to have certain guys back playing football that have had long-term injuries. It'll be important to get everybody up to speed on exactly what our identity is and what's been established, from our mentality to our football and how we've evolved, and then make sure that we're putting two good performances together, probably giving everybody a chance to play. And then, that'll be the last step. We'll be talking about things that will be important for when we get back together in the summer, but that'll be our last step before the World Cup.
Hi, Jesse. Good evening. How many of these players that play tonight do you think will be in the front of the roster for the World Cup? And my second question is, right now, besides James, who played tonight, you have two outstanding keepers, Dwayne St. Clair and Maxime Crepeau. How do you feel? How you talk to him? And what do you think about the near clubs? Thank you.
A little bit unclear as to how many players from this group will be in the final squad, but I think a lot of players improved their status in my eyes and in our overall project. So that part is very, very positive. I think you see that our goalkeeper position is getting deeper and deeper. So we know about Dane and Max. I thought James had a very good game. I thought Luca came on them and looked very strong. We still have Jaden Hibbert. We still have Owen Goodman. We had Jonathan Siro. We have Tom McGill. It's a strong position, which in Canadian culture, if you know anything about the goalkeeper position, it's a very important position regardless of the sport. So, that part is great. I thought that James and Luca both did well tonight.
Thank you. Here in the front.
Hello, Jesse.
That was a hockey reference.
Elias from Gol de Guate. Tonight, Canada won in a very tight game. What was the most difficult aspect Guatemala presented to you guys?
Well, I think Guatemala is very combative and defends very hard in front of their goal. So we had to earn our chances. We had a lot of set pieces and would have liked to have been a little bit more dangerous in some of those set piece situations, but goalkeeper made a really good save on one play. We were narrowly just off on a couple headers, but look, when you play Guatemala, we know this from the summer that they are competitive, they are combative, they fight for every inch on the pitch, and I have a lot of respect for them because they do things like that and they make it difficult for you. So I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of the performance. I'm proud that we got the win, and I think it was earned, deserved.
We'll go to virtual. We'll start with Neil Davidson. Neil, go ahead.
Thank you. Jesse, Jaden Nelson seemed pretty lively tonight. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, we've been pushing him to be more dynamic, like in moments where he can get balls in behind, and I thought he was good there. He was aggressive when he went in 1v1 situations. He was also clever and dynamic in some little combination moments. Another day, maybe he can find a way to get himself in on goal and find a goal or an assist. But in general, I thought it was a very positive performance for him. And I think he continues to grow into the player that we know he can become.
Go to AGR.
Thanks, John, and hey, Jesse. Just wanted to ask you about on a similar theme, the wide overload, just the way you were able to get forward, especially Basong in the first half had a few. Second half, we saw Marshall Rudy. Just how important is it to continue to develop aggression on the ball in that way from your fullbacks and wide players?
Yeah, I mean, the way we like to use them is to kind of sometimes rotate from a 3 build-up to a 4 build-up, and if the opponent tries to contain us in that way, then we try to create overloads on one side and then maybe to get to the other and force them to have to widen the way they defend and then hopefully open up more things for chances to score goals and find ways to penetrate in the middle. And that's in a way, it wasn't perfect because it was a little bit of a duel that got Malik Henry freed for the goal, but it was a version of how we were able to find the goal. And then we want dynamic movement in the box and dynamic runs. I thought, again, amazing that we have this group that's literally never been together, 9 new guys that have never been in with the national team, and yet we still managed to look a lot exactly like we want to look like. So, again, that made me proud as their coach.
John Molinaro.
Thanks, John. Jesse, just wanted to get your evaluation of Matthew Chouanier tonight, who, especially on set pieces, looked pretty dangerous.
Yeah, Matty, for me, is our best set piece deliverer. Matty is also a guy that can meet the demands of the way we want to play in every way, on the ball, against the ball, the intensity at which we like to play and run, the way we press and counter press. Matty is sharp in all of those areas. So I thought that Matty's presence was very calming, and he was at the core of a lot of our organization and our ability to make things difficult on Guatemala. So for me, I think a really strong performance for Matty, and he's an important guy for us.
Josh Healy.
Perfect. Thanks, John. Hi, Jesse. Today was Thiago Coimbra's 22nd birthday. Did you have any words of wisdom for him before he took to the pitch? And how do you think him and several other of the new players performed in the national team setup this week?
Yeah, we're probably going to have some birthday cake at dinner. So, it's a good 22nd birthday for him to represent the national team. He, when he spoke in front of the group this week, he talked about how proud he is to be part of the Canadian national team. And then when we made him sing, he still sang some Brazilian song. That was pretty cool. I think, I could go down the list, but I will just say this. The best part is the new players, they knew their roles, they knew how we play, they committed to what we wanted. We were able to get another clean sheet. We didn't give away really any chances to the opponent. We were aggressive. We were playing in their end. We were creating set pieces. We were creating chances, and we won the game in I think a deserved manner.
Last one to Aldo McGill.
Yeah, me?
Yes,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. In taking these games and moving forward to the World Cup, do you think you accomplished? I think you answered half of that question. Do you think you accomplished what you set out to do today? And what's your ideal situation going into the World Cup?
Yeah, look, it was a really good week in general. And then you always have a test at the end, and that's the match. And in the match, you want the team to take all the lessons of the week and put them together in a complete performance. this was a pretty complete performance, right, from a bunch of new guys. So I think that what we wanted to achieve from this camp was to give our established guys a chance to get themselves fit and ready for a really important 6 months, to continue to push the themes that I think are important for those players, and to also force them to in a little bit bigger leadership roles, and to integrate new players in a way where they understand who we are, what we do, how we do it, and then see if they can meet the standards that we want. And in general, I think that we got a lot of answers. We achieved a lot of our goals. And at the end for the test, we delivered. And so in all ways, I think that this has definitely helped us take a good first step in 2026 for what we know will be a big year and a big summer.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Empezamos con la conferencia de Guatemala en aproximadamente 5 minutos.